Okay, just to let you know, we're being recorded and we'll be on Facebook Live.
Okay. Stop. So y'all gonna do this where you're asking me questions, or how do you want to do this?
I have, hold on a second. I believe the Mayor Pro Tem will probably be asking you questions. He'll just kind of lead off with a little bit about the Oaks, and then, you know, you can take it from there, kind of give us a background on what's going on. And if I was looking online, so it's a fairly new.
Zenobia, we are now streaming on Facebook.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to sign, well, not really, but I'm going to sign off and just put the agenda up.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good to see you, Sandy. Good to see you, Chief. Good to see you, Zenobia.
Hello, hello.
Mayor Pro Tem, this is now being streamed on Facebook.
All right. Thank you, Shayna. Thank you so much.
Okay, it's now 8 o'clock. I believe everyone that is going to join has joined.
If you would give me the view with the with everybody's picture on the page for right now.
Okay.
Versus the that, because I just want to see everybody for a minute.
Okay.
All right. All right. All right. Welcome, Chief. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. How about you? Glad to be here.
All right. Right. How you doing, Steve? I think we got you muted. I think you're muted. Councilman Thomas, how you doing? Okay, and we have Shayna already on the line, and it says, I see one that says Stockbridge Council. Who's that?
That's me.
That's you. Okay,
Mhm.
that's you. Okay. Okay, that's you. Okay. All right. Well, what we want to do real quick is I just want to first of all, just want to spend a little time welcoming each and every one of you before we get started here. We'll be having a robust night, and I just want to thank you all, because the night gets going sometimes, and you know you forget right off the top just to thank the people for taking their time to participate in the town hall. So I just want to thank you all for participating and making yourself available for this event tonight. So from the top, thank you all so much for your time and your attention to this matter. So thank you. The first thing I want to do is now, Zenobia, we can go through the slides. Thank you so much for joining the Mayor Pro Tem, Elton Alexander, Economic Development, Public Safety, and Traffic Town Hall. That's what this is tonight. It's our goal to inform you of what's going on in your city. You know, having Patty LaBelle come to our city, grace our stage, along with Gladys Knight, it was a magical night that none of us will ever forget. Who would have ever thought that we'd have those two legends grace our stage with their grace and beauty? And God has been so good to them that they are unfazed by time, totally unfazed. And the sound and the atmosphere that night, it was truly magical. And we know that God was in the midst because this is what he does for our city and everything that he does for us in every way that we are. If I could, that's what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start us with a prayer. And Councilman Thomas, can I call on you to do the prayer for us tonight? Councilman Thomas, are you there?
I think he's muted. He
Okay,
was.
thank you, man. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can do this, okay? Tell you what, Chief Tramer, why don't you go ahead and do the prayer for us? So will you do that for us? Or
Absolutely.
there's Councilman Thomas.
I'm sorry, I was away from my screen, but I heard you, but I couldn't get back in.
Sorry
But
about that.
I will yield to the chief.
Okay, go ahead, Chief.
Heavenly Father, if we just bow our heads, I guess first off, Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together and to just be part of community. We ask, Father, that you bless this time together. We ask, Father, that you bless the city of Stockbridge. We ask that you bless all the citizens in the city of Stockbridge, Father, and that you help this community to continue to be prosperous. And we thank you, Father, for your son, Jesus, and we ask all these things in your heavenly name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you so much, Chief Tramer. And I want to go ahead and continue with some remarks during the town hall. You know, the one thing that I always like citizens to understand about these town halls have been something that are a foundation of everything that I believe in. I started these town halls the very first year that I was elected, and I still continue them to this day because they're extremely important to keep yourself attached to the voters so you understand. Each and every day that I'm out in the community, I talk with them to engage them to understand what it is that they want, because it's up to them to decide what kind of type of community that they want. And what we do in this atmosphere is we're service. As Pastor Spence would say, we get to serve and rest his soul. He's a great leader in this community, and we certainly miss him. And we go on and carry on in his name in the honor of service, because service is an honor. It's an honor to be able to serve, and we get to serve. Tonight, as we embark to kind of explain to you, even during the pandemic or the time of the pandemic, the city has been thriving economically. It has. In true sense, we have been one of the beneficiaries, so to speak, because in the midst of what we're going through for this, where so many communities suffered economic decline, our revenue has actually increased during this period to record highs. In the midst of that, the community was gifted by the administration $9 million for us to move forward with desperately needed infrastructure, water and sewer, and public safety that this community has now been blessed with. Let me put something to rest right away before we get started with this. I hear all the time that Stockbridge is in financial difficulty. Stockbridge has no financial difficulty. We're in a position right now where we're as strong as we've ever been, with a nearly $16 million fund balance, reserve funds so you understand, in reserve funds. Plus, that $9 million that we're expecting from the Biden administration, that we got from the Biden administration, our tax dollars being returned to us in the American Rescue Plan. So in effect, those are restricted funds that we endeavor to use to increase the infrastructure, the water and sewer, road construction, the types of things, COVID prevention, and to make sure that we can do the right thing to keep this community safe, even in the midst of the pandemic, because it's not over yet. It's still in the community, and we have to remind ourselves to stay vigilant. We've done a great job navigating our way through this process, but let's continue to stay vigilant in what we do. And again, as we look and we work our way through this, and understanding that the budgetary elements of the city have been extremely strong. It's been growing on a yearly basis to produce, each and every year, we produce a budget surplus. So conservative budgeting has been put in place for the city. As a matter of fact, my first 3 years on the council, we had a budget surplus of nearly $2 million, and in some cases, excess of $2 million on an annual basis. That is how we got to the point where we have $15 million, nearly $16 million in reserve. Even though we planned the amphitheater as we did, and we planned the Cultural Arts Center, which is coming up now, we still been able to maintain that balance. Understanding the city budget is $12 million plus a year, just shy of $13 million a year, okay? And in the midst of that, when I said that we have nearly $16 million in the bank, what does that mean? That means that we have over a year's reserve in our reserve funds, okay? Some of that's in property as well. And the very best thing about that, the part that's invested in the properties, guess what? We know what the market looks like today. Those properties were bought years ago when the market was depressed. So every single year when they grow and they advance themselves, and they were bringing greater and greater return. So when the city finally does cash in and sell those city properties, and they're prime real estate, some of them are in the North Business Park over with I-75 frontage, which is worth a mint at this point. So when we sell them, we're gonna sell them for top dollar and for great economic development, something that will enhance the community because we have control over that, because we are the property owners in those instances. Two of the businesses, one of the businesses that you're gonna meet tonight, the Regenerative Orthopedic and Spine Institute, they're located in the North Business Park at 135 North Park Trail. And you know, we're so glad to have them here, because you're gonna hear from them tonight, talk about the economic development that has been placed, and that they're in belief in the city of Stockbridge and what they've been able to, and why they invested in us. We've had several investments like that. You're gonna hear from tonight the Oaks at Eagles Landing development, a superior development that has invested $32 million plus in a new facility in this community. And they'll tell you they believe in the direction of the Stockbridge. And you can always tell how people believe in you. They put their money where their mouth is. And when you put up $32 million in a community, you believe in them. There's been significant investment like that out in the community. And we want to make sure that we capture that and we're able to move through it and continue the growth, positive growth in the city. There's been no better economic times that we see ourselves in at this current period right now. I want to take the time to introduce the officials to you who are on the telecast tonight. We have we have Councilman Alfonso Thomas joining us tonight. Say hello to Councilman Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and hello to all the citizens of Stockbridge that may be tuning in.
All right, thank you for joining us tonight. We have our police chief, new police chief, Frank Tramer. Chief Tramer, will you say hello to everyone tonight?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Miss Sandy Mitchell with the Oaks at Eagles Landing. Thank you for investing and thank you for being here tonight, Sandy.
Thank you. We are so blessed and we are so proud to be part of the Stockbridge community.
Absolutely, absolutely. We also have the Regenerative and Orthopedic Spine Institute. Go right ahead and introduce yourself, Steve, and tell us about just a tag. Give us a little bit. Whet the appetite a little bit.
Sure. Hi, pleasure to meet you all. I'm Dr. Stephen Royapa. So just to tell you guys a little bit about our practice. So we're located off 135 North Park, right off of Rock Quarry. So we're an orthopedic practice. Have 4 physicians, 2 nurse practitioners. We've been there since 2015, and we essentially bought the building from the city of Stockbridge and invested, basically made a multi-million-dollar investment in renovating the building and building out a state-of-the-art facility for orthopedics, including a physical therapy office, MRI, and an ambulatory surgery center. So we've expanded our workforce. We have 30 plus employees, and thankfully, despite the pandemic, we were able to keep everybody on staff. So for the city, we've provided services for almost 20,000 patients since we opened in 2015.
Okay, all right, Doc, we're gonna give you your opportunity on the agenda. I just want you to give us a little bit to whet the appetite.
Sure.
And can we get his screen name changed to Dr. Steve? Let's get the screen name changed. Let's make sure we do this right. This is Dr. Stephen Ploska. Let's make sure that we get that right, and let's get that doctor on the screen. Maybe he gets the appropriate respect. That's right. That's what we want to do. I like to have a little fun at my town hall, if you can't tell.
Thank you.
All right, so let's introduce Shayna. Shayna, are you on the call? Can you hear me? Shayna Thornton, are you on the call?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm monitoring the Facebook questions and comments. Good evening.
All right, just want you to say hello to everybody and recognize our public information officer,
Thank you,
Shayna
sir.
Thornton. Thank you so much.
And we do have questions and comments already, and we encourage high engagement tonight, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Keep them coming. Zenobia, let's give you the credit that you deserve out there. Say hi to him. Zenobia is the key. She's the glue that keeps us together to make sure that these things roll off like they're supposed to be. Zenobia, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hi.
Thank you so much for everything that you do there. Did I miss anybody? I got everybody. Did I get everybody, Zenobia? Everybody that's on, did we recognize them? I'm sorry, Sandy, you have someone there with you as well. Let's make sure we introduce your partner there.
Yes, definitely. This is Tara Blanton. She's the executive director of our brand new community coming up.
Okay, all right. I see y'all doing some big things over there. I see y'all celebrating. I see y'all out in the community all the time.
Yes,
It's
sir.
wonderful
Giving back.
because you come to Stockbridge and you hit the ground running. I see you over here, over there, and
Yes, sir.
always with a smile on your face. That's right. You're already an ambassador for the city.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. Indeed. Okay, what we're going to do is go ahead and roll on. And first, we're going to talk to Chief Frank Tramer, our new Stockbridge Police Chief. The first thing we're going to do here is, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, the very first priority of our citizens, of our council, Marion Council, is to keep you safe. Our job, no matter what we do, that's our #1 charge. Okay, when we see this community and we understand what we see on our television screen every single night in Metro Atlanta with crime increasing, we're not going to wait until we get to the point where we have a real issue going on in terms of out of control crime. We have crime here. We've seen an uptick in crime here, and we want to make sure that we keep that at a relatively low level and we don't let it explode. And we've hired a top-notch professional in Chief Tramer to do that. From the very first moment that I talked to Chief Tramer and he said these magic words, it's the community's police department. It's not my police department. It's not the city council and the mayor's police department. It's the citizens' police department. From that very first moment, I knew we had the right guy for the job. And Councilman Thomas, I'd like for you to say a few words about the chief as well and the city's commitment to public safety.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yeah, I'm going to concur with that. Over the last few years, we have been talking about and discussing public safety in the city of Stockbridge. And one thing that I understand, and Mayor Pro Tem and others understand, that we have to plan today for tomorrow and for the future. So starting the Stockbridge Police Department was not something that we just overnight decided to do. We thought about this long and hard. We've had several studies, before we actually decided to hire the chief. But one thing that we do recognize and understand, and I think all of you will as well, if you watch the 6 o'clock news, crime is increasing over the metro area. And historically, we've had a relationship with the Henry County Police Department, but it does come a time when you have to start your own, and that time is now. So we started down this road by hiring the chief. And I've said this once before, and I know the chief knows this, that when the former city manager brought his candidates forward, this was his one and only that he wanted us to confirm. And so we took our time to, and I use the term, we drilled him, and I think he may concur with that, but we wanted to make sure that we got it right to the best of our ability, to make sure that we had the right person that was going to come into the city of Stockbridge with the right temperament, with the right experience, the right understanding, and come into Stockbridge and, work with us and the citizen in going forward. But not to get too long on this, but I just want the citizens to understand that this was not an overnight. I think we chose the right person. I've had a number of conferences. I've asked a lot of questions. I have reviewed his presentation, his budget, and I am convinced that he is the right person. And I'm excited about going forward, and I'm excited about working with Chief Trimmer, and I think he's going to do a great job. Now, of course, we know that there are challenges and obstacles in going forward, but we will overcome that. But, a lot of time is trial and error, and that's with anything. But I think we have done our homework, and from reviewing the chief presentation, I think he has took all and everything in consideration, and I'm looking forward to going forward.
All right, thank you for those comments and your strong support of public safety, Councilman Alfonso Thomas. I see Mayor Anthony S. Ford has graced us with his presence tonight. Thank you, Mayor Ford. I know you had other commitments, so I thank you for joining us tonight, because I know you've had a busy day. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but Mayor Anthony S. Ford is our acting city manager, so he has on 2 hats right now. So his day is really full, and he has a lot of balls being tossed at him right now. So Mayor Ford, we're in the section about the police chief here. If you would, you could talk about the police chief and the commitment to public safety, and also some opening comments. That would be great.
I appreciate that. Appreciate it, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilman Thomas, glad to see you. And Chief, it's good to see you as well. Actually, Chief and I had several conversations. Since I'm wearing 2 hats, I see him all the time, all day long. So, but I'm not going to get long on this because Mayor Pro Tem and along with Councilman Thomas already addressed this. But without a doubt, we picked the right man for the job, and we're going forward with this police department, something that is long overdue. And I remember distinctly several years ago, probably 6 years ago, that Mayor Pro Tem and I, along with Meet and Robinson, were on a committee to think about and start working through the process for this police department. And we came up with something short of that, actually initially came up with a proposal for private security, but we never went down that road. So my point is that we've been talking about this for a while. And there has been some engagement and conversations, not only with the Henry County Police Department and the Sheriff's Department, trying to educate us and help us along this line, and along with the citizens over the course of time as well. So it's about time. Obviously, the Stockbridge has not had a police department since the 1970s. And so that's quite a long time ago. So we are a pretty large city in this aspect, so we need it. And I know Chief Tramer's the right man. Matter of fact, I was going to say something, but I'll let him talk about it, because I think I met with him today with some other individuals. I'll let him discuss that later in his presentation about some individuals I met that are highly qualified, who are going to help us out. And also, and I mentioned, so the public can notice, I mentioned the chief today as well as before in previous conversations, that we want highly qualified individuals and a diverse police force to match and look like this community. And he's working that way. And so hats off to all that aspect as well. On any other notes in reference to the city, we'll continue to grow, we'll continue to move forward. We have a really bright future. We're going to touch on some topics tonight in reference to what's going on in the city as well. But listen, citizens, you got to believe in us, and you got to keep the faith, because we're moving out, we're doing some good things, and you'll see that. We work for you, and we'll continue to do those great things. And you'll see that as time comes on. Once again, just keep the faith with us as we continue to function and do some good things in this aspect as well. And I'm very proud to be a member of the council. I'm very proud to be the mayor, very proud to live in Stockbridge and be in Henry County. I'm not originally from here, but this is home now, and I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around for a while. Okay? God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor Ford. Mayor Ford is doing a great job for the city, studying the ship, and he's always a steady hand. So let's give him our acknowledgement and respect. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight to making sure that the city's in order. I would like to recognize the council members who are not here tonight. Councilwoman Yolanda Barber, who is a strong supporter of public safety. She's not here with us, but I'm sure she's here with us in spirit. So are Councilwoman Lakeisha Gant and Councilman John Blunt, who are all part of the team. We might not all agree on every item, but we certainly endeavor to improve the quality of life here and to move the city forward. And I think we're accomplishing that in historic terms at this point. So now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to the man of the hour himself, our own and our one and only Police Chief Frank Tramer. Mr. Tramer, take it right over.
Well, first off, Mayor Ford, Mayor Pro Tem Alexander, Councilman Thomas, I certainly appreciate your kind words, and as well as the council men and women who weren't able to be here with us tonight for their support and trusting me with this tremendous responsibility. And I've said this before, and I've said it to all of you, that I really believe that all of us, and council, mayor included, and those of us that are business leaders as well, that we are all entrusted with stewardship. And as a person of faith, I believe that God has really, he gives all the gifts, and he provides us with these positions. And I really do not take that lightly. And it was mentioned earlier by Mayor Pro Tem Alexander that, we all, service is at the core of everything that we do. When you're a leader, when you're an elected official, I believe that it's imperative that we all understand our responsibilities as not only public servants, but also as servants of those that we're entrusted to look after. I have said that I do believe that this is not my police department, it is the community's police department. And I believe that public safety is not something that we can just hold the police department entirely accountable for. Public safety is a community responsibility. And it's imperative that we all work together, members of our community, our business leaders, to really ensure the safety and security of our community. It's not something that we can do in isolation. It's not something that we can do in a vacuum. It's something that requires partnership. And that's something that I hope to bring to the table, to be able to pull our community members, to be able to pull our business leaders and our other leaders in the community together to really be able to work collaboratively towards addressing issues, toward addressing concerns that are impacting the entire community. Obviously, there are a lot of things beyond crime that on its face that are contributing to a lot of the issues that we see in society. And so it's important that we involve those key partners and stakeholders that they come to the table with us and help us come up with solutions that are not just addressing surface level issues, but are actually getting at the core of what the problems are. And I know we have Dr. Stephen on, and he understands being a doctor. I'm certain that you cannot you can't just prescribe a solution to something without really diagnosing what the problem is. Otherwise, we're gonna keep coming back to see you. And the same thing's true with crime in our communities, is that we can't just look at the surface level issues. We really have to get to the bottom of what's going on and employ a problem-oriented policing approach. And that's really getting down into the granular details about what's driving these problems in our community, and having every member of our department and members of our community actively involved in addressing those issues. And so I consider myself to be a collaborative partner, to be a collaborative leader. And I look forward to working with members of the community so that we can all come together and really do some great things to ensure that the city of Stockbridge remains a place where people want to live, work, and play. This really is not a job for me. It's a calling. It's something that, and I'll spare you the long history, but it's something that I've known I wanted to do from the earliest of my remembrance. And I've been committed to this profession since I was 19 years old. I started working for the sheriff's office, and this is all I've known. And I really believe that what we do is a legacy profession, because in this line of work, we intrude and we insert ourselves and intervene into people's lives. And oftentimes we become a part of the story of those lives. And I believe that the work that we do really does have an impact beyond us. And, generally when people are calling us, it's not because things are going right. People are calling us because there are challenges, there's things, there's issues that need to be addressed. And so I think that we have a tremendous opportunity each and every day to really be able to serve our community, to be able to serve our citizens. And I look forward to building a police force that makes the community proud, that's service oriented, and is able to provide excellent services for the citizens and business owners and all those that visit our great city.
All
I
right.
know there are probably some questions. I didn't want to get too long-winded because I know that there were at least a couple of questions in the chat. So I wanted to allow an opportunity, certainly for you, Mayor Pro Tem, with this being your town hall, to ask any questions that you would like, and as well as our participants this evening and community members. So I did want to allot some time for some questions. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself for a moment and see what we have.
Okay, one of the questions that I want to ask you, Chief, is one that someone had asked me previously before the town hall. And they said, how do we know the chief is prepared to handle a diverse city? How important is diversity to him? So can you speak to that?
No, absolutely. There's a little bit about my history. I grew up in as a young man in a poor inner city neighborhood. And it was a very diverse community. Beyond that, I worked in some very diverse areas. As a matter of fact, I came from recently from Georgia Tech, and we have about 32% of our population, our community of 30,000 or so that we serve, were from all over the world. And so I've had a lot of exposure, a lot of experience with working with diverse communities. But I do want to say this, that a lot of times when we talk about diversity, what a lot of people think of is diversity as a color, and diversity is not necessarily a color. Diversity is many things. There's diversity of thought. There's a diversity of religion. There's the diversity of gender. Diversity is a very broad term, and I think that to the extent possible, as Mayor had mentioned earlier, that our police departments should be representative of the communities that we serve. And what that does is it benefits not only the community, but it benefits those inside the department also, because it allows those that we're working most closely with, it allows us to see and hear different perspectives. And I really believe that all of us have a key to the puzzle of any opportunity or any problem that we're dealing with. And those diverse viewpoints really help us make better decisions. And I really believe that collectively, all of us together, the diverse viewpoints that we bring together, collectively, we're all better than any one of us could be individually. And so it's important that we bring together not just men and women in our police departments that are represented in the community, but we bring the diverse members of our community together as well to work collaboratively with the department to address issues that are really impacting all of us as it relates to public safety and community welfare.
Thank you for that answer, Chief, and thank you for that communication, because I think it's so important for people to understand that your point of view and that you value diversity, and they need to understand how you see it. And I like what you said, which is the diversity is not just about a color; it's about thought, and because each individual, when it really comes down to it, it is about your thought process, and you got to recognize there's a lot that goes into
not
that.
Enough to say king or priest, because sometimes we may not feel that way.
Okay, sir, Mr.
So what
IT,
he's really
you need to
saying is,
mute.
I want you to be my
Mr.
representative.
IT, you need to mute yourself.
When a certain situation comes.
Hello, Mr. IT, you need to mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. All right. Sometimes, this is live television, right? It's in the mode. It's in the middle. We've had Councilwoman Lakeisha Gant join us as well. So thank you for joining us, Ms. Gant. Let's go on and let's see to the next phase, to economic development. In terms of economic development going on in the community, we've had some substantial development programs come our way. Zenobia, if you would filter through those slides at this point so we can recognize those businesses, and then we have two businesses here as well. But let's filter through the slides. First of all, take a look, and the screen, the print is a little small for us, but go ahead and filter through. Stop right there. Okay, if you can make it out, it's a little small. The unemployment rate in the city of Stockbridge is at a historic low. It's at 4.4%. That is an outstanding number. I remember when I was first elected in 2016, we were upwards of 8% unemployment at that time. Understanding if our unemployment rate is at 4.4%, that tells you that the city's in outstanding financial, the workforce. We have many businesses out there who are hiring. Almost all of them are hiring. I bet the two businesses that we have on here now are looking for workers. And understand, those numbers don't lie, okay? Information and misinformation is out there, but understand, if the unemployment rate in Stockbridge is 4.4%, that is an outstanding economic position to be in. It says you have a growing economy, you're adding jobs, because the population of Stockbridge is growing just like the rest of Henry County and Metro Atlanta is. So Zenobia, next slide, please. Okay, we have the bridges at Jodico, ladies and gentlemen. The bridges at Jodico, we've had, is anything ever gonna happen over there? Well, guess what? A $50 million project is moving forward. The Sterling Group closed on a 14-acre parcel at the bridges at Jodico, which is at Jodico and I-75. The lot that we've seen there, okay, where we had a previous development that didn't quite work out. But now this development is moving forward. There's a $50 million multifamily and boutique retail. If you look on the corners of this rendering here on the bottom right and bottom left, that's boutique retail that'll be available in there. There'll be 300 multifamily units. These will be luxury units. As you see, they'll have some will have balconies. And look at the design of this complex. Everything is enclosed, from the staircases, everything. It looks like an office building from the outside. The amenities, the building actually wraps around the amenities. This is the new modern design to attract professionals here to the community. And trust and believe, these they're very luxurious. And trust me, the price point meets it. I think a 3-bedroom is going to go for upwards of $2,000 a month in order to be there. But they have substantial development in the area, and they want to make sure that they're in keeping with the type of development that they're hoping to attract there, which is upscale development. Next slide, please. The Piedmont Pulmonary Unit, and I remember going in there, and I went in there and I talked to the staff. They were nice, friendly individuals and they're in the same building. They're in the 135 building, if that's correct, right, ladies? Yes, they're in the 135 building over there, North Park Trail, and Piedmont Pulmonary is on the second floor there. And the staff was not, and this is investment. This is not in the hospital. This is in the Stockbridge North Business Park. So this unit is located there, and they've made an investment there, expanding their health and wellness campus. Stockbridge has a huge health and wellness complex, as you'll see in the following slide. Next slide, please. Northside Hospital Cancer Institute it is also located in the area. They're at 1050 Eagles Landing Parkway. They're broad and they've increased their presence in Stockbridge in our health and wellness district, and it continues to grow. There's substantial investment coming in every single day. This is millions of dollars in investment that Northside has put into the area. Keep going. Next slide, please. The Hegler Corporation. Let's salute the first international corporation to ever call Stockbridge home. The Hegler Corporation has opened their national North American headquarters in Stockbridge. It's on Reeves Creek Parkway in Stockbridge, and they're international. They make the machinery. It's an advanced manufacturing where they make the machinery that produces the glass. When you see a skyscraper, all these huge buildings around the world, they make the machines that actually produce that glass, and they're located right here in Stockbridge. How's that economic development? When they're fully fleshed out, they will bring 50 jobs to the city of Stockbridge, averaging $60,000 each. That's right. They're bringing 50 jobs total to the community, averaging $60,000 a piece. Okay, that's economic development. That's solid. Mary, you have a few words you'd like to say about Hegler?
Well, yes, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to do that. What I like to do is, of course, to coordinate believe it or not, we've not had an official ribbon cutting for them. And one of the reasons why we hadn't, because of the pandemic, but also Hegler Corporation here did not want to really do that until they get their individuals, the leadership from Germany flown over here. But we got to work on that. And I'm glad and so that is something that I gave a direction to the community development director and her business license staff just the other day. As of 5 November, which is 1 week from tomorrow, we're going to start opening up ribbon cuttings across the city. We have not had ribbon cuttings in well over a year and a half. And we need to do that. We need to have this so we can come together and welcome those businesses, no matter how large or how small they are, into the community. Matter of fact, when that happens, when we do that and new companies come in, I do the business license section drafts up the letter for me to sign, welcome them in. And you would believe, well, let me just tell you, I got a couple hundred letters on my desk now that I need to sign so I can send out to them and welcome these businesses in, and ribbon cuttings will start happening. We just have to wear a mask, watch our distance. We've had a couple concerts this way. We need to do this. We need to make sure we welcome these businesses in here and wrap our arms around them. So we're starting that up. I tell you right now, and it's going to happen. So council members, get ready, because we got a bunch coming up during the winter months, and we're going to do this and the section and welcome these businesses into the community. And we'll work on Hegler as well to get that leadership from Germany here so we can have a big ribbon cutting for them as well. Thank you.
Let me make sure I heard that music to my ear. Did you say 100? Say that again. You're muted, Mary. You're muted.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's more than 100, close to 200 businesses, and a lot of them are small businesses, but that's all right. Small business entrepreneurs make the world go round. It's a couple hundred. They're a big stack. I mean, a seriously big stack on my desk. And I'm going to take care of that. I'll start on tomorrow, matter of fact. But and they'll get mailed out. And we want to make sure that those businesses, no matter how small or large they are, that they're welcome within our city. And that's what we're going to do. It's part of the process. We're playing catch up, but we're going to make it happen. Thank you.
Absolutely, and we sing the praises. Councilman Thomas, you want to talk about Hegler as well?
Well, what I wanted to share, and I think everyone needs to understand from the municipality, the planning process and the way we're trying to grow, we are in that lane to make sure that we provide all of the planning and zoning. As you know, we completed the comprehensive plan where we delved into, planning and zoning for different parts of the city to allow to be that welcoming mat for all types of businesses to come in. And I just wanted to share that because I don't think, this is not one of the, the glamorous aspect of municipality, being able to divide and to dissect your city that would allow different types of development, whether they are residential, commercial, and all of that. And so I just want to sort of speak to that, we are in the trenches, making sure that all parcels, all of the land in the city of Stockbridge is being divided. So any type of businesses, any type of residential wants to come into the city of Stockbridge, just as the bridges at Jodico, we are allowing those things to happen in order for us to be involved in smart growth. And I just want to sort of share that because, see, these are some of the things that citizens don't see, and they maybe don't even understand that this is a part of, the municipalities, that we have to be able to make sure that the city is conducive for growth and to be able to allow, industries and different developments to come into the city. So I just wanted to share that part, Mayor Pro Tem.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Go to the next slide, please. The Spectrum Cable moved at one of their flagship stores, and they decided to locate it here in the city of Stockbridge. Look at the beautiful building. That's part of the new upgrades in terms of our building code requirement, which requires 50% brick, upgraded landscaping. That is no accident. That's what's required now in the community, that you would have a beautiful, outstanding building to bless the community, uplifting it. That is a requirement of what we have now in terms of what the commercial is. The reason that they decided to locate this flagship Spectrum cable, wireless, internet, and repair center here in Stockbridge is because Stockbridge was one of the first cities in Georgia to have 5G up and running. Now, other cities have it now, but we were one of the first ones to get it up and running. And we also have fiber optics in the ground. So we have multiple options to offer businesses all over the city. That's why we have a stack of 200 businesses wanting to come here, because we have the fiber and the technology infrastructure to increase the health and wellness of the community, and also to make sure that we provide our citizens. Our citizens, I know in my community, in many communities, Monarch, in Brentwood, there's gigabyte internet available through Comcast or Spectrum. It's available where most communities may not have that available. I know my neighbor works in entertainment, and he's overjoyed that he has gig internet because he can download movie files and large files in seconds. Well, if he was in another location and it would take him forever to do his job. So he says, I'm not moving anytime soon because internet coverage is spotty in certain areas of the city. Next slide, please. Yes, and I love it when I go by the Spectrum store. It is a beautiful edifice. It's located right next to Rock and Roll Sushi and next to the new Chipotle outlet. Okay, can we get to the next slide, Zenobia? Where we stop? Okay, I think we're having a little technical difficulty. Let's see if we might be able to get back to the slides. Are we having a little difficulty, Zenobia? Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're gonna shift up. We've had our guest here for a while, so let's. I certainly don't want, as the mayor mentioned, and I'm glad we did not have the technical difficulty here. Go back to Bobaluba, please. Okay, it's not just about the large businesses. It certainly is not. It certainly is a combination of large and small businesses. One of the businesses in our community, Bobaluba Tea, it's just a unique space where at 930 Eagles Landing Parkway, they're there, and what they do is they provide a unique service. If you can look in the back of that picture, they have the prayer wall there where you can come in and just understand, there's a greater power at work. They offer smoothies, they offer coffee, the fresh ground coffee, they offer pastries. My drink is the Mocha Blast. All right. I went there so much, they named the drink after me. The Mocha Blast is now the Elton's Mocha Blast. Because I just love going there and supporting a small business. But understand, the owner, Gabriela Torres, diversity, Latino business owner that invested in our community. We certainly appreciate our small business owners. We certainly appreciate everything that they do. They're located on Eagles Landing Parkway, right across from where Publix is, and understand, the kids love it. When I'm in there, every time I'm in there, the last time I was in there, I remember one of the kids said, I was talking to one of the moms and she said, my child made me come here. It was such a fun place and they're enjoying it. I love the red velvet cake and the cheesecake. Oh, those are my favorite. I have to do a few extra laps because I've been partaking just a little bit too much on that. So that's what we do. Next slide, please. Okay, we're gonna come back to that one on the T-Splosh. This is what we're gonna do. Our guests have been waiting for a while. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it over to our guests. First, I wanna go with Regenerative Orthopedic and Spine Institute. So Dr. Stephen can talk to us about their substantial investment in the city of Stockbridge and why they chose Stockbridge to invest and what they do for us.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Alexander, for having me here tonight. So I know I touched on it briefly before, but Dr. Stephen Rayappa. So we have, I'm speaking on behalf of our practice, Regenerative Orthopedics and Spine Institute. We're located at 135 North Park Place, Stockbridge. And we've been there since 2015, bought the building from the city of Stockbridge in 2015 and completely renovated it, invested multi-millions of dollars to outfit it with a brand new MRI, PT facility, X-ray, as well as a orthopedic suite, orthopedic clinic, and an ambulatory surgery center, all in the same building. So in terms of our practice and our scope of practice, we take care of a variety of orthopedic needs, anywhere from the spine, anything spine related, to basic slip and fall injuries, routine orthopedic injuries, broken bones, trauma. And we do that with a very excellent team of 4 physicians, 2 nurse practitioners. And we do support our community. We're very involved in the city of Stockbridge. We've supported the CD4RP food drive with food, monetary donations, volunteers, and as well as backpacks and school supplies. In the past, we've supported the city of Stockbridge National Women's History Month, which celebrates visionary women. We've sponsored the Henry County Chamber of Commerce Educator Lunch as well as supported Haven House and the Friends House. So we certainly take pride in being in Stockbridge and not only being able to serve our patients, but serve our community as well. And so far to date, we've taken care of approximately 20,000 patients. And one thing that we pride ourselves on is being able to provide compassionate care with personal level of service. Being a smaller practice, we're able to do that, and where it might be a little tougher with larger practices. And our patients are very satisfied with their care, and we're very proud to deliver that. And our goal is to keep that going for years to come.
All right, Dr. Stephen, when exactly, I know you guys bought the building in 2015, but it was extensive renovations. And then I think the surgical center opened sometime later. When did the surgical center actually open?
So that was actually approximately 2017.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then do you have a guesstimate on your total investment into the city, into this facility? I know the building was what, 2.8, 2.7, something like that?
Right. In terms of the total investment into the building itself, we're looking at roughly $2 million.
Okay, absolutely. So we certainly thank you for what you've done in terms of your investment in the city and then your practice, because we certainly want people to patronize you. We know there's another provider here, and we want to raise the awareness that you're here, because I hear people say that all the time, that they're unaware that you're here, even though I do everything that I can, and I think we certainly do try to get the word out. But you know, when you come to your location, you're in the North Business Park, which a lot of people know that's behind Rock Quarry Road and the Wendy's over there in that certain area where we are. And the business park has shown a lot of growth in there. So we certainly appreciate what we do. Next, I want to take a moment, if we could. Thank you, Dr. Stephen. You can stay with us as long as you like, but certainly appreciate it. Let me thank you for your support of the food drive. During the pandemic, it was instrumental. And I know the great thing that you did when we got with Robin, your manager, office manager over there, and donated all of those book bags to get the kids off to a great start. That's the humanitarian nature of that practice. And certainly we need to make sure that we return that support. So all that you do, the Women's History Month event, you supported that as well. So you supported a number of initiatives. And let me just thank you so much, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do without your support. And again, you are part of the dynamic health and wellness industry that is surging and growing in this community. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If we could, Shayna, can I go to you? I want to allow you to read the question. I don't want anybody to think that I want them to come directly from you and from Facebook. So would you read a question for us? Are you there, Shayna?
Yes, sir, I am. Good evening. We certainly thank all of our citizens and community members for joining us. We appreciate the high engagement. We have multiple questions, Mayor Pro Tem. The first question.
Right, this is what I want you to do. Read one at a time. We'll answer that and we'll go to the next one.
Thank you, sir. The first question, are there plans for properties surrounding the amphitheater?
Okay, there certainly is a plan, and I think we are working on what's called the LCI plan. That plan was developed by the Atlanta Regional Commission, and we follow that plan. Okay, the amphitheater didn't just pop up. The amphitheater was part of the LCI plan. It is one of the anchors as a growing gathering space. It just wasn't the amphitheater, it's the park next door to the amphitheater. And we hope to endeavor to be able to draw nice restaurants and shops downtown, as well as other practices down there as well. So the goal is any business owner that's out there listening, we're certainly open for business. And if you like to be in the midst of 4,000 customers downtown on a regular basis during amphitheater events, certainly Stockbridge is the place to be. Mayor Ford, you look like you're dying to say something about that LCI. Go right ahead.
Well, I just want to let you know that you're absolutely right. The amphitheater is phase one. Phase two deals with additional businesses and condos, actually, and this aspect in the downtown area. So that's all part of the process. And as we continue to work that process, you'll see the improvement. And the entertainment center of downtown is going to grow. Besides being historical in this aspect for the city of Stockbridge. So we got more to come, ladies and gentlemen, more to come. It's coming. All right.
Absolutely. And Councilman Thomas, as the council liaison to the Main Street board, talk about answer that question in terms of the plans for downtown.
Thank you. I was going to touch on some of that when I speak to the cultural arts facility, and I know you sort of alluded to some of that. I will take away from some of my presentation, just to mention a couple of things. Yes, the Main Street program, as well as the cultural arts facility and the amphitheater. Those are those mechanisms that will bring people into your downtown. And anyone that knows what attract business owners is where people are. And so the fact that if people come into your downtown, then of course, business owners are going to come as well. I won't get too deep into it. Otherwise, I won't have a presentation to make, but I did want to talk about, and I will go ahead and just take this opportunity now, if you will, the cultural arts facility, in itself. I know a lot of folks think about revenue that it should generate, but there are other aspects as to the amphitheater and the cultural arts as far as providing, those quality of life initiatives, for our citizens. And as you mentioned, and I just mentioned, and the mayor mentioned, there are plans. And again, I talk about planning now for the future. And this is what we are about. A lot of these things may not even be realized until 2 or 3 years down the road, but you have to plan now in order to benefit and receive the fruits of your labor. So it is understood by many of us, and as you mentioned, the Main Street program, and they are in the heart of that planning. And so we're talking about being able to attract restaurants, retail, other housing options. So the future is really, really bright for the city of Stockbridge. And just citizens, that you have people, staff and council members working, planning for that future. And again, you may not hear a lot of that, but just know we are planning for the future. And these are the kind of things that we do understand that we have to work toward those things. And we are working toward those things. So don't be surprised. I'll say again, don't be surprised when you see great things that are happening. Now I'll just mention, the amphitheater, for instance. We've had 2 concerts, and I've only heard just great, great, great things from our citizens saying that they are so happy and so glad that this city was able to provide this entity, this quality of life for them, that they don't have to travel to 20 miles just for entertainment. And we hear this all the time. And you mentioned the Main Street Advisory Board, which I'm a member of. We have had a number of listening sessions where we ask citizens the questions, and they respond back and tell us what they want to see in downtown, because they don't want to travel 20 miles to a fine restaurant, or 20 miles just to try to buy a shirt and tie and a pair of shoes, if you will. So they are looking to us to provide these things in our downtown, in our city of Stockbridge. And I think that we're doing a pretty good job as far as trying to make some of these things happen. And we know that, it's not going to be overnight, but we have to start planning somewhere. And the things that you see, the amphitheater, the cultural art, these are the anchors, these are the engines, these are the things that's going to attract those things to come. So it's a methodology to first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And I think we're doing a great job in putting the pieces of the puzzle together to be able to 5 years down the road from now to be able to realize the fruit of our labor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate those words, and I know your passion for downtown development. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the Oaks at Eagles Landing and let them talk about their outstanding $30+ million investment into the city of Stockbridge. Sandy, we go right ahead.
Good evening. Thank you all for letting us be a part of this lovely evening. We are the Oaks at Eagles Landing. We're a $32 million property. We offer independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So let's talk a little bit about our independent living community. Our independent living community is for active senior living. So that's for those who are still active and able to enjoy the fruits of their labor and enjoy their life. So what we offer them are cottages. They're 2-bedroom, 2-bath cottages. They have 1-car garage. They have their own clubhouse. We have amenities for them, and they get to just relax, enjoy themselves, and just have a great time within our community. We also offer what's assistant living. Assistant living is when your loved one may need a little bit of assistance, a standby assistance, just to help them along their times in need. And then we offer memory care. We have 132 rooms total. That's including our cottages. And I want everybody to know we are a faith-based community. We have partnered with several churches in our community. We'll have different types of religion, and we welcome everyone to please, if you like, come take a tour. If you have any questions, just let us know. I'm gonna pass it over at this time to Tara. This is Tara Blanton.
Hi, I'm Tara Blanton. I'm the executive director of the community. I'm very blessed to be so. What I wanted to offer was a little bit about what we're going to contribute to the job market and the economics that we have for the Stockbridge area. I'm relatively new to the area myself from South Carolina, so I'm very blessed to be here and be a part of what's growing in Stockbridge. Not only will we be offering well over 100 positions for the community to be able to join, but we're also going to be offering a lot of training opportunities, not just for our youth, but we're going to be multi-generational with our staff. We will have scholarship programs so that we can help our staff members be able to further their careers, mentor them in the passions that they desire to have, whether it be in the culinary program, in the nursing program, and even some of our, maintenance and residential care programs. So, we'd like to be able to, get out there in the community and provide opportunities for, anybody that would like to come and serve. So it's beneficial for our seniors to be able to come and live in our beautiful community and all the things that we're going to offer. But we want to be able to also offer to our staff opportunities to be able to enhance their careers and their professional lives. My leadership team that I'm developing, they all come with some mentorship abilities to be able to guide folks into what they need to do. And then we will also be able to provide opportunities from some of our care partners and our medical community to be able to enhance their patient base by bringing them in, letting them be a part of our community. So I do feel like that we're very multifaceted in being able to contribute to Stockbridge. And I do know that on behalf of the company, I can say we're very, very blessed to be a part of the Stockbridge community and offer these services.
Thank you so much, because what it says is that we have tremendous businesses like yours investing in the city. It says confidence is high in the direction that we're going, and I know you all support the amphitheater project. You support the things that are going on, and you've been active and involved in what's going on. And I'll talk about later that Atlanta Beltline like trail system that we're going to provide for the city. So hopefully at some point, someone will be able to take a golf cart from your facility all the way to the amphitheater, right? Now, we already know that they have gate access to the country club as a part of your development, as you explained to us on our tour. So they will have access to the golf course as members or at the community, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we would act, I mean, we're so excited to have all three levels of opportunities for our seniors. And one of the great things is that we're going to be able to provide additional patronage to a lot of the businesses in the area, because our activities programs, we will have activities programs for independent living, assisted living, and memory care, depending on what the needs are for the cognitive abilities. So we'll be taking excursions and outings and trips like that, and be able to bring our seniors out in the community where before they might not have been able to. So that's going to provide additional patronage to the Stockbridge area.
You know what would be so great? We could connect your facility with Dr. Steven over here.
I was just thinking T-Spot. I saw his
Absolutely.
sign the other day.
Isn't this a synergy where these two Stockbridge businesses
Yeah.
can work together? The residents can literally go 2 blocks or just a little bit, maybe more than that,
Absolutely.
and get quality service from Regenerative Orthopedic and Spine Institute right there down the street from where they are. Isn't this just perfect?
And we will have transportation services for our residents that need any type of care like that. So we definitely can make sure that those appointments are set, and we'd love to be able to partner with Dr. Stevens.
All right, good. We'll make sure that we connect you two so that
Wonderful.
we can have you all work together because this is a collaborative effort. We're all in this together in the city of Stockbridge. Thank you all for joining us. And I know y'all have had a
Thank you
long
for
day.
having us.
If you need to sign off, I certainly do understand. We're going to go on, but I appreciate it. And thank you.
very much.
Continue. Anything you all need from us, Stockbridge is open and friendly to business. Just let us know what you need from the mayor on down. Just give us a phone call and we'll
We're going to
certainly
call
take
on the
care of it.
mayor to be helping with our ribbon cutting, but don't you worry.
And we're always here to help the city of Stockbridge.
Absolutely.
And any outreach, community outreach I can further assist with, I'm here for y'all.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you so very much for that. Next, let's go back and let's go on to some additional questions. Let's try to get as many questions as we can answered in this next segment. Shayna, go ahead with the next question.
Thank you, sir. Next question, we're going to combine the two. They're saying, is City Hall back open? And also, what is the status of hiring of the city manager?
Okay, I'm going to let Mayor Ford handle that in terms of City Hall and then an update on the city manager. We had just had that discussion. Go ahead, Mayor.
All right, appreciate the question. The issue is, yes, we'll soon open up the City Hall. Matter of fact, part of that decision, I'm going to talk to the council about that as well. We've already had 2 concerts where we've been very safe in this aspect. And I just talked about having ribbon cuttings effectively starting 5 November, a week from tomorrow. And so we want to get out in the community. So otherwise, if we're doing all that, we might as well open up City Hall. So I haven't had a date just yet, but it's coming. But I want to make sure that the council feels all good about that, because once you open up City Hall, that also possibly means that we'll have open council meetings again as well. You see, so we got to make sure that we're tracking with that and that aspect and have everything lined up. So I will say that that decision is coming soon. In reference to the city manager, yes, actively we're pursuing that. There are 8 applicants thus far. I don't know all those applicants' names because it's still open at this point. That will close on the 6th of November. And when that closes, then myself, along with the HR, will go through the process of interviewing those 8 qualified individuals, narrow it down to 3, and I'll bring those 3 to the council to review and interview themselves as well. And if they want, and of course, I can bring as many of the applications for the council to review, but I'll come with 3 in this aspect. So it's my assumption that once we do that with the time frame of approval and then acceptance and any background checks have to be done, I would certainly hope that we will swear in a city manager in January in this aspect. So because we got the holiday season coming up, and I've got to make sure that when we have the interviews, I'm able to work those interviews out with everybody's schedule in this aspect as well. So it's coming, it's moving right along. And the sooner the better for yours truly, but we got to be smart about this, and we got to make sure we get good qualified individual for the council to select, and that's what's going to happen. And like right now, there's 8 good qualified individuals, been 14 applicants, but not everybody's been met the minimum qualifications, but there have been 8 out of 14, and that's a pretty good choice, I think. And it's good. Let's see, so we still got another week left before we close out the application process. So it very well may be more than that. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. And let's have a round of applause for the mayor having double duty as the city manager right now. And I'm sure that's a heavy load to carry right now, but his shoulders are broad and the rest of us are here to help him out. So thank you, Mayor, for what you're doing and carrying that weight during the interim while we seek a city manager for the city. We certainly thank Mr. Knighton for the tremendous work. He left us in great hands. So that's a good thing. Shayna, go ahead with the next question.
Yes, sir. We had several questions related to policing. Does the police chief believe that the report given from the Stockbridge Police Department is accurate as far as how many officers and staff that will be needed? And is that projected budget accurate? If so, what is the projected way of funding this? Will we in fact see 3% increase after 2022 every year? And an additional question, will Stockbridge be building a community involvement group to help develop the ideas of community policing where the focus is proactive and not reactionary policing?
Okay, first let me say this. We're gonna have a citizens advisory board to help the chief work with and through to develop the department. He's the expert, of course, but at the same time, we want to make sure that the citizens have buy-in to the direction that we want to go in. So in that aspect, I think surely we're gonna go down that road right there. And Chief, I'll let you answer the rest of those budgetary questions because you gave a tremendous presentation the other night where I'll say for myself that you put an option on the table where there will be no city tax in 2022, and I certainly support the option of no city tax in 2023, even if we have to supplement. So I'm certainly good with that, but go right ahead and answer the question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So the feasibility study, I do believe was relatively accurate. I believe it projected about 5.6, close to $5.7 million for implementation of the police department. And our estimates came out at about 5.4 and upwards to 5.8, 5.9 on the very high end. And of course, being a relatively new department, we don't have anything to benchmark from. So a lot of these are estimates, but I certainly believe that it would not exceed the scope of that $5.8 million based on the level of policing that we intend to start with. So I believe that it's very accurate in terms of that. And regarding the 3% increase, I believe that what that's talking about, it's not just the police department. I believe that that's just, as I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Knighton as well as Mr. Wall, because this has come up in a previous council meeting or work session agenda, I can't remember which. However, what they were simply talking about is you see, just because of inflation, that budgets tend to increase over time. But the thing to take into consideration as well is your revenues tend to increase over time as well. And so that's proportionate to the growth of your budget. So while they're across the board in any community, for the most part, you see budgets tend to go up, but again, you see those revenues increase also, which offset those things. So I believe that it balances itself out. And to your point, Mayor Pro Tem, there will be, based on the model that we've come up with, no implementation of any property tax on the citizens for the implementation of the department next year, July 1 for 2022. And depending on how we decide to allocate funds through ARPA and other funding sources, there is the potentiality that we could offset property tax in 2023 as well. So that's accurate information.
Okay, and a follow-up on that, in the ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan funds that we receive, I believe you're able to spend those funds yearly through 2024. Is that correct?
That's accurate. Through December 31st of 2024, those funds can be used.
So ladies and gentlemen, understand, we, in addition to our almost $16 million reserve funds, we are expecting a total of $9 million from the American Rescue Plan. And we have up until December the 31st of 2024 to actually spend those funds to help us and to supplement different areas. Public safety is certainly one of those areas. So there's no better time than now for us to move forward with this police department. So go right ahead, Shayna, with the next question.
Yes. I know you mentioned Jodico. There's a question about Jodico from our Facebook Live viewers. What's going on with the Jodico Road development and the Aquatic Center and the development on Flippin that looks like it's stalled out?
Okay, a couple of things. With the Jodico, I did touch on that when we first opened. It's kicking off with a $50 million investment by the Sterling Group. The Sterling Group closed on a 14-acre parcel for $8.5 million. They paid all cash. Let me say that again. They closed on a 14-acre tract for $8.5 million. They paid 100% cash, so they don't have any debt, and they're going to invest $50 million into upscale luxury multifamily and boutique retail. So if you have a coffee shop, you have a laundromat, you have some type of boutique usage retail store, you might want to give them a call in the coming months, because they do have retail space available for small businesses to start off this particular endeavor. In reference to the Aquatic Center, there is a parcel there that's being considered. Henry County is in negotiations with the developer, and we should find out something within the next few weeks about the status of that. But as of now, that is the preferred location by Henry County. It certainly is the choice of the city. The city has done everything that we possibly can to move it forward, and anything additional to that would have to be done by Henry County and the developer. So it's out of the city's hands at this point. We've done all that we can do at this point. In terms of Broder Farms, whether you believe it or not, is not in the city limits of Stockbridge. It's not. It's surrounded by the city, and that's something that we'll have to deal with through annexation and closing up the boundaries lines of our city. What happened to Broder Farms is they were issued a stop work order. The county issued them a stop work order because Commissioner Bruce Holmes had asserted that he put a condition of 4 sides brick construction on Broder Farms, and they were not complying with that. Broder Farms, the developer, decided to appeal that. There was appeal hearing before the Henry County commissioners. The appeal was denied unanimously, and the decision to move forward with all sides brick on that development was the right one. I support that because it's quality, and I'm glad they made that decision and stuck to it. So Broder Farms should be, they should start rebuilding over there, but trust and believe the commissioners upheld the decision to require 4 sides brick on all of the homes over there. So that's substantial quality. So that's what happened to Broder Farm. That's been decided right now. I guess they could start. It'll be up to them when they do restart. But when they do restart, everything has to be 4-sided brick. Next question, Shayna.
Next question from our Facebook Live viewer. Since the opening of the amphitheater, has the city drawn any interest from any businesses or developers to locate near the downtown area?
Okay, Councilman Thomas, are you there? Okay, Mayor, you want to talk about that in the interest that we've seen? I know you got a stack full of applications.
Well, yeah, I mean, there has generated some businesses, some interest, and as hopefully things will continue to grow and the interest will grow during the course of the dormant season as we get into the fall and the winter months, and in lieu of having a full-fledged 2022 season. So there are some interests going on. I can't really divulge any specifics on those businesses, but there has been some interest on that, and we're working through that process now. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. There's a number of businesses that have inquired. There's actually been some property acquisitions downtown as well. So all we want to be able to say on that is stay tuned. And Councilman Thomas, you want to talk about the interest in downtown? There was a question about new businesses. We know we can't give them too much, but we can tell them a little bit about some of the interest that we have seen. And I know there's certain things we can't talk about.
Yes, I think all night we sort of have alluded to the prospect of interest in downtown. And one aspect I want to sort of mention that the businesses that are in downtown right now, the Main Street program had a session with all of the present business owners in downtown to talk about some of the future development, you know, the alleyway and parking and some other issues. So what I'd just like to share is that there is a comprehensive approach to revitalizing downtown and making sure that we work with all of the present business owners right now to make sure that all welcome mats are open. And so it's a very exciting time for everyone. Even those business owners that are presently in downtown, they see opportunities galore even for them. But as you mentioned, though, we really can't talk about the perspectives of businesses that do want to come. But just know that, you know, we are open for business and, you know, the welcome mat is open and we're doing all that we can do as far as our policies, our zoning, all of the things that we need to do from a municipal standpoint to make sure that, you know, that they know that we are open for business and we are embracing that. Even the businesses, even some type of association of businesses. So we're even looking at that to have a focus group for a potential business owner to come in and to be a part of. So we're doing all that we can do. And I mentioned from the beginning, it's all about planning today for tomorrow. And I think we're doing a great job in doing just that.
And Councilman Thomas mentioned the downtown alleyway project. That's a revitalization. That's a part of the plan that he's talking about. The strategic, the Renaissance Strategic Visionary Plan that was put together by the Carl Vinson Institute. There's actually a YouTube video that we have posted on the city YouTube site where you can actually see the vision for downtown put together by the Carl Vinson Institute. Is actually inspirational, and it's some of the things that we're moving forward to in embracing, because you have to make decisions. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. We made that decision a couple of years ago to move forward with the downtown alleyway project. It was a courageous vote by Councilman Thomas, myself at the time, and another council member, Councilman Robinson, to move forward with that. And now we're actually seeing that project move forward. And it's great to see that, because the timing could not be any better coming out of the pandemic, having shovel-ready projects, because we already have the plans in place. That's how you react to those particular situations. Shana, give me one more. Is there one more? Give me one more.
Okay. When can you share what restaurants are coming? Will there be a Panera Bread?
You know, those things are still in the works. And honestly, there was a development that proposed the Panera Bread on Patrick Henry Parkway that did not come to fruition. But does not say that we're going to give up. And we expect that development will move forward along with the Oaks at Eagles Landing on Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry is going to be very hot. It's going to be an area that with expressway frontage that's going to deliver a lot of what we've been wanting, where the expansion is going to grow as far as downtown as well. Trust and believe, the pipeline is full. And coming out of if you didn't see the article by Bill Crane on the city of Stockbridge, where he toured our amphitheater, and he said, how did it get here in the middle of the pandemic? Because while others, you know, were just trying to get through the pandemic, Stockbridge was busy at work. We kept going. We were the proverbial little ants that we just kept on doing what's necessary. And coming out of the pandemic, this beautiful amphitheater appears out of the ground, which is the best facility in the southeastern United States. That's our claim to fame. And we have accomplished that by landing Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, And then we backed that up with Shaka Khan and Freddie Jackson. It was an outstanding show, and it made us absolutely all proud. And please understand, diverse shows are coming. We had some shows that were supposed to take place in October with a country lineup. Unfortunately, the sponsor had to cancel those because of the pandemic and their concerns about that. But we fully expect that those country shows will roll off in 2022 to make up for the lost time that we missed, for the lost time. We understand it's the pandemic. And when that surge hit, especially in August, and the mayor's the chairman of the health board, he understood we had to make some tough decisions in August, right, Mayor?
Absolutely. And so otherwise, let me just say this though, at least 12 concerts next year for the 2022 season. You're looking at roughly 6 urban concerts, 3 country and western, and 3 rock and roll in this aspect. So, but that may adjust a little bit, but we're going to make sure we hit the diverse crowds there and talk about all these types of different musics to make sure we attract many people down into our downtown area, into the amphitheater. So it's going to be a wonderful season in this aspect, but we got to be safe and smart about it. But I would imagine this pandemic could go away soon, hopefully, right? If you get vaccinated, right? So let's be safe, folks.
Mayor Pro Tem, if you would, Mayor Pro Tem, could you speak to the development of some of the hotels that are springing up in the city?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. We have on Patrick Henry Parkway behind Chick-fil-A, there's a True by Hilton hotel that will be, that, you know, the pandemic had an effect on the hotels. If it weren't for the pandemic, the True by Hilton would already be there in place. And on the opposite side at Country Club Drive and Patrick Henry Parkway, there will be a Holiday Inn built. They built that and got it approved through the city and over there with the Eagles Landing Community Association as well, to make it something that everybody could be proud of. Of course, those developments are in the queue, and understanding that now that the economy is reopening, those projects, we should see those projects pick up as well. So thank you for reminding me of that, Councilman Thomas. We have growth, and that growth is substantial, and businesses continue to invest in us. The next thing I want to do is I want to skip down to the T-Splosh, so we can get, I want to skip down to the T-Splosh. Right now, the most important election of our lifetime is going on, ladies and gentlemen. Every one of us complain about traffic. We complain about traffic. We hit the steering wheel in traffic. We say a few words that we probably hadn't ought to say, that we got to say a few prayers for late at night and at dinner time. But we obviously have an opportunity now with nearly $250 million on the ballot for you to vote for. You get to decide, because in the end, you got to understand, Henry County has 240,000 residents right now, and the ARC projections call for 350,000 plus people in Henry County in the next 10 to 15 years. Right now, 8,000 to 10,000 people move to Henry County, new residents every single year. So the population is steadily growing. Imagine, it's like an hourglass on the 2-lane roads, and more sand is getting put in, more and more sand, more and more cars are trying to make it through that narrow alleyway of the 2-lane roads. But we have an opportunity right here in Stockbridge to widen Rock Quarry Road, finally, because we understand that in the midst of Rock Quarry Road, seconds mean lives. So if you're trying to get to the hospital and you have a loved one that's experienced a medical emergency, a heart attack or a stroke, seconds mean lives. And if we're on a 4-lane road on Rock Quarry Road, we get there a lot faster than the 2-lane road when traffic is backed up on Friday. Also, an understanding, I mentioned this earlier, the Rock Quarry Road project will come with a 10-foot multi-use path on one side and a 5-foot sidewalk on the other side. So in actuality, you will be connected all the way from Eagles Landing Parkway, all the way down to North Henry Boulevard. And on top of that, we have $20+ million in multi-use trails and infrastructure in this plan, where we have sidewalks. Monarch Village, can you hear me? Brentwood, can you hear me? Carriage Lake, can you hear me? Mayor, tell them about the multi-use path going down Walt Stevens Road on this list.
Well, the thing about it is we need everybody to vote yes so we can get this taken care of in this aspect. So the multi-use pass will go down Walt Stevens and actually connect with Flippin. And the intent is to have connectivity to all our neighborhoods and then bring the connectivity to downtown, and also eventually bring connectivity to Panola Mountain as well. So we just need to vote yes, people, because besides sidewalks or trails, we're talking about in the underserved parts of Stockbridge, we're talking about curb, gutter, striping the pedestrian walkway so you can walk across the street safely and be identified by an oncoming car in this aspect as well. We're also talking about resurfacing streets and just repaving that aspect as well. Plenty of streets are on our list. And besides that, we also have pedestrian walkway that we want to put downtown attached to Martin Luther King Senior Bridge there across from the east and west side of downtown. That way you can move across the railroad tracks safely without getting hit by a car, without being worried about going across the railroad track itself, but you can come across. And that way you can travel both from the amphitheater to the downtown area for a restaurant, a coffee shop that we have there as well. That's all on the list. We pass it, we get $30.5 million in a 5-year period. We can accomplish all that. And that'll help with the growth spurt that we have in Stockbridge and help with the communication and transportation process and for us to move out pretty easily in that aspect. So we need the trails, we need money, we need to say yes. We have to do that. And if you don't say yes, if it doesn't pass, we all suffer. Everybody suffers. We all suffer. Yeah, and if you complain now, if we don't pass it, you will continue to complain. Now, that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Councilman Thomas, will you talk about those traditionally underserved areas that are going to benefit with curb and gutter and stormwater in those areas of town? Talk about that a little bit. These communities have been overlooked for generations are finally going to be touched with the finances that they deserve.
Yes. This is the original neighborhood of Stockbridge, way before the city expanded, way before the Eagles Landing, way before the Spear Road, Monarch Village, and those kind of things. So this neighborhood have been waiting for years and years and years for the city to pay, some attention to them. And so now, hopefully, if all of us get out and vote, those citizens and those homeowners who have been, loyal to the city of Stockbridge, and so now they will begin to see, the future endeavor. And again, I keep harping on this because I want folks to really understand is that, we have to plan for today in order for us to see these things tomorrow. And so that's why it is important for citizens to engage. We are in this together, but we have to have dialogue. We have to have communication, and you need to speak. You need to speak so we can definitely go forward. So this is about our future. And one of my mottos and one of the things that I talk about is bridging our destiny. Our future and our vibrant and robust cities that are waiting on us, but we have to connect. We have to bridge that. It is there waiting for us. And I think we're doing a very good job in trying to connect that. And again, things look very well for the city, but we have to continue to plan today for tomorrow. Let's bridge our destiny. So let's continue to go forward. So citizens, please, the doors are open. We need to hear from you. We want to be partners in everything that we do. So, these are opportunities for us to make it happen. But just to get back to the original question, Mayor Pro Tem, citizens in that neighborhood, they understand what's at stake. So they are going to the polls to make sure that, these things happen. They have been waiting a long time, and I think now they see it coming and they are excited about these things. So, the city of Stockbridge, we are the envy. We are the envy of the metro area. So we're going to continue to be just that.
All right, and Councilwoman Gann, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Talk about T-Splosh then, what it'll mean to have that trail on Walt Stevens Road.
Well, actually, I think T-Splosh, I'm definitely for T-Splosh, and I hope that everyone votes for T-Splosh for all of our road projects. More specifically, more important, I love our trails and I'm excited about that as well. But the widening of Rock Quarry Road is a big one for me. And that's because our hospital is there and there's a lot of traffic. And when there's an emergency and ambulances are trying to get by, we're on a 2-lane right there. So it is important that we do this for a lot of road repairs and construction going on throughout Henry County. There are some joint projects. I'm very proud of us as well as the county for doing such. And so I definitely am an advocate for the T-Splosh. We have I know Mayor Pro Tem Alexander actually spoke about our trail plan, and we have a trail plan that a master trail plan that was done. And as you know, we have Reeves Creek Trail right now, which with that master trail plan, we have plans on tying all the way from over by Clayton County, all the way through into the entire city and with connectivity. And I think that's awesome. I think that's something that, could mimic and model the Beltline. We could take it even a step further. And so we're looking into the future and we do plan. So we take into account our feasibility studies, we take into account what the public wants, and we all get together and this is what it's about. So please, 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 I support the T-Splosh. I think that is extremely important. We have a lot of traffic woes here in Henry County, and we have a lot of road repairs that could be done with the help of T-Splosh.
All right. Thank you for those comments. Everyone is on board. This is something that's unanimous, and we understand what's at stake. And the Chief Traber, I want to get you to weigh in as well. In terms of overall safety, how important is this road infrastructure to have it in place in saving lives?
Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Obviously, the congestion of our roadways and some of these traffic concerns that have been noted obviously have an impact on traffic safety, and it really should go without saying. It's really just makes sense that by making these improvements that it goes a long way in terms of hopefully reducing crashes, particularly serious injury crashes and things along those lines. So it's very important that we make our roads, these road improvements, so that we can enhance safety as it relates to traffic mitigation.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much. You gave a great presentation earlier about what we were doing with our police department to keep everyone safe here in the community. So that certainly is something that, is very important, because in the end, when you have the proper road infrastructure, it should decrease the number of accidents that you have. And when drivers are impatient out there and somebody's trying to pass somebody on a 2-lane road because they run their fuses a little short on that day, that's a catastrophe waiting to happen. Whereas we could have that impact in making sure that traffic flow moves along rather than anything else. And there's no subject that I ever hear more on than every single day. I think we can all say the one thing that we hear about more than anything else is traffic. And trust and believe, we live here too. So we have to get in that traffic, and we're running late for a meeting and what have you. and trust and believe. Let me give an acknowledgement to the Henry County Commissioners and every city in Henry County. Because in order for us to get this T-SPLOS on the ballot, we all had to agree. And from the top end of Henry County to the bottom end of Henry County, everybody got something. Everybody got something. North Henry County, Fairview Road is a potential project. Vote yes. In the city of Stockbridge, Rock Quarry Road is a project. Vote yes. In unincorporated McDonough, Jonesboro Road. Everybody knows where the target is on Jonesboro Road. That past that area, the Crystal Lake, all of that is just unbelievably congested. They would win. Mill Road over there where the Sky Zone is. Everybody knows where Sky Zone is. That 2-lane road that everybody takes to try to get down to 218 when it's backed up, that's on the list. McDonough Parkway will truly become a bypass because it will be widened and extended all the way to Highway 155. So when you don't want to go through the McDonough Square, you'll actually have an alternative not to. And Locust Grove, let us not forget about you. Bill Gardner Parkway will be widened all the way from I-75 to Highway 155. And everybody in Stockbridge, listen up. How many of us have ran over the bump on Eagles Landing Parkway, okay, on Hudson Bridge Road? Now, it's been patched, but if you vote yes on the T-SPLOS, Eagles Landing Parkway and Hudson Bridge Road will get the long overdue paving that it deserves. Many other roads will be in the same place because we'll have more funding at the table to deal with these road projects. And understand, there will be no other opportunity like the one we see today. We want to fix those problems. Every single day we endeavor to fix those problems. But without the money, we can't do it. The actual shortage fall in Henry County is nearly $2 billion. GDOT has pledged nearly $500 million. And Henry County has the most pre-construction projects. Highway 42 will be widened from McDonough to Stockbridge. The other end of Highway 42 will be widened from North Henry Boulevard all the way to exit 2. Okay, the traffic relief is coming, but GDOT is looking at every citizen in Henry County saying, y'all keep knocking on my door. Okay, we know that you want state funding, but what are y'all gonna do? When are y'all gonna step up to the plate and come up with extra funding from your coffers? We need, anytime that we have a project with GDOT, we need matching funds. And because Henry County has so few industry, we only have one place to go, and that's the property owners. But once the infrastructure money is put in place, the growth in those substantial businesses in the medical, biotech, and technology, they'll find us because they want that infrastructure in place in order to bring those jobs. Tonight, you have heard about hundreds of jobs coming to here. Oaks at Eagles Landing, okay, Regenerative Orthopedic and Spine Institute, small businesses like Bovaluvu Tea, small businesses coming to the community, Barn Beautiful, which we have downtown Stockbridge. They are what it is in order to make sure that this community moves forward. But early voting ends tomorrow. Early voting ends tomorrow. Okay, Zenobia, will you put the map up now? Will you put the voting map up? We in Stockbridge for the first time ever, and we're gonna wrap up before 10 o'clock. The Stockbridge for the first time ever, you're gonna be able to vote at 3 separate locations. 3 separate locations throughout the city. Okay, if you look at, there's area 1, area 2, and area 3. Okay, there's going to be 3 voting locations. There's going to be a voting location at Merle Manders Conference Center, 111 Davis Road, Stockbridge, Georgia. Those are in area number 1, which are north of Eagles Landing Parkway, okay? And they are generally east of Flippin Road in that area. So this area here encompasses north of Eagles Landing Parkway and east of Flippin Road. All those residents will vote at Merle Manders Conference Center. That's where you will vote, okay? If you go down to the bottom of the map in the lavender area, which is where the number 2 is, which is south of Eagles Landing Parkway, those residents on election day, and again, let me qualify that, on election day, those residents in number 1 will vote at Merle Manders Conference Center. The residents south of Eagles Landing Parkway will vote at Stockbridge First United Methodist Church on election day, 4863 North Henry Boulevard. That's where you will vote. Now go over to the left side of the map, the blue area. In the blue area, Walt Stevens Road and that area, west of Flippin Road, again, west of Flippin Road, you will be voting at Red Oak United Methodist Church, 3894 Walt Stevens Road. There. Why did we do that? Because in 2019, we had hundreds of people waiting in line to vote. At 7 o'clock, when the polls were supposed to be closing, hundreds of people were waiting in line. Some got tired. That's voter suppression. When you have to wait an extended amount of time in line, that's voter suppression. So this council and Marion Council took the historic steps of providing multiple voting locations in the city of Stockbridge. Mayor Ford, talk about the importance of us moving forward, branching out, making sure that we had 3, and we made sure that it was 7 to 7, so working people could come and vote after work. They wouldn't have to take time off. Saturday voting, Sunday voting, talk about that.
Well, the thing about it is we just want to make sure that we make it accessible, that you can actually utilize your constitutional right to vote. We want to make sure that you can do that. And we want you to do that. And you need to do that because, once again, it is your constitutional right. Many people have had fought and given blood, sweat, and tears in their lives for the right to vote. And we want to make sure that you have all the opportunities, the legal opportunities to utilize your constitutional right to go vote. So we want to make sure that you're able to do so and you don't get frustrated on election day if you haven't early voted. We want to make sure you cast your vote, because that's what we need to do. We just need to honestly do that for you. And you need to take advantage of the fact that this is something that this is how you can contribute to your community and to what goes on in your community by actually executing your right to vote. So it's needed. So we want to make it available to you so you can utilize your constitutional right to execute the legal right to vote, because you deserve it, you earn it, and it's your constitutional right to do so. Plain and simple.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for those words. And everybody should understand this. Tomorrow is the last day to early vote, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you wait till election day, most of the people in Stockbridge are going to have to go to 2 locations, okay? Let's for instance, I live in the south side of Stockbridge below Eagles Landing Parkway. I've already voted, but if I wait to vote, if I live below Eagles Landing Parkway, if I live in the Summit at Eagles Landing, if I live in the Magnolia at Eagles Landing, Winding Creek, Clark Meadow, okay? If I live in the Terrace at Eagles Landing, if I live in Moss Point, if I live in, again, Clark Meadow, if Brandon Walk, all of those subdivisions over there, then I would be tasked with going to vote at Stockbridge First United Methodist Church near downtown Stockbridge. And then I would have to go to the Tabernacle of Praise Church to vote for the urgently needed, desperately needed T-Splosh. I won't be able to vote for all of those at the same location because there'll be separate locations. But on Friday, I can go to Merle Manders Conference Center and vote for both of those in one location. Or I could go to McDonough at 40 Atlanta Street and vote for both initiatives. But if you wait till election day, and let's say you live in Winsong Plantation. You live in Winsong Plantation, you're going to be voting at Merle Manders Conference Center. But guess what? On election day, you can't vote for the $250 million T-Splosh at Merle Manders Conference Center. On Friday, you can, but on election day, you can't. You would have to go and vote at whatever your local voting precinct is for the $250 million. Do you rather have one trip to vote or two? Because if you wait till election day, two. Now, on the blue area, it works a little bit different. Red Oak United Methodist Church, right, is a county voting location. So some of the residents, that is their local polling place, but not all of them. If you live in Monarch Village, or you live in Brentwood, or you live in Carriage Lake, you will be able to go and vote at Red Oak United Methodist Church, and you will be able to vote for both of them, even on election day, because that is a county precinct and a city precinct all in one. But if you live outside of that area, you would have to go to Red Oak United Methodist Church to vote, and then you would have to go to your regular voting precinct. So if Red Oak is not your normal voting precinct, you will still have to go there. But we know right here, and let me, Mayor, since you live over off of Red Oak and you live in Monarch Village, you will be able to vote for both of them at your location, right?
I could, yes, but I've already early voted, so I took
That's
care
right.
of that. You see, I already early voted, so I'm done. But if I waited till election day, I could get both of them right there at Red Oak. And so in that aspect, so it's always encouraging if people can do this to vote early and get it taken care of and go to one location. But if you can't do it for whatever reason, and then when you go on election day, you just got to understand where you need to go to get both things done. And we need you to do that. Once again, it's your constitutional right. So please bear with us and please go cast your vote. No matter what your vote is, but hopefully you vote yes for T-Splosh in that process and vote at your municipal elections as well. Okay, thank you.
I like the way you said that, but I want you to say one more thing. If T-Splosh were not a pack, it would handicap us, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It would put us in a position where we would desperately want to widen Rock Quarry Road, but we wouldn't be able to do it for possibly decades. Is that correct?
That's correct. So what it amounts to is if T-Splosh does not pass, then all the projects that we have will take years. It could be 10 or 12 years before we can get them all done, or longer possibly. It depends. And it's all on the city. You see, the T-Splosh allows one additional penny per sales dollar, and everybody participates in that. Whether you live here or travel through, individuals travel or visit, your relatives come through, they spend $1 in Henry County, and that's additional penny on a tax on that dollar that goes into a bigger pot for the entire county. So it needs to pass, because if it doesn't pass, everybody suffers. Everybody suffers. You see, so if you pass it, everybody succeeds, and we could have great projects done, completed, and you'll have a happier life because you'll be able to transport and move around. The traffic flow will be a lot better. We can walk on trails to connect communities, connect to the downtown area, and so and streets that have been underserved can have real good paved streets and curb and gutter and pedestrian walkways and crossings to be safe. We need that, and we're growing. The people are coming to Stockbridge, coming to Henry County. Folks are coming, and so we'll continue to grow. And we need this infrastructure taken care of transportation-wise to make sure that folks have a good life and are comfortable living in Henry County, living in Stockbridge, Madonna, Hampton, and Locust Grove, because we passed this now. So please vote yes, folks. You got to do that. Thank you.
All right, and Councilman Thomas, talk about T-Splosh. You have to spend the money on transportation. You can't spend it on anything else. So talk about how important that is to you and your commitment to traffic, that this money has to be spent on traffic. It can't be spent on anything else.
Well, Mayor Pro Tem, one thing that we hear from the locals, visitors, truck drivers, everyone, they talk about the traffic of Henry County. When I look out over on I-75 pretty much every day, from Morrow all the way down, it's backed up. On some of these surface streets, it's just traffic everywhere. So Henry County is notorious Henry County is noted for gridlock. So as you mentioned, I commend our leaders for putting this package together, this list, to try to mitigate and to relieve these arteries here in Henry County. So it is important for us to go out, and I know citizens, I hear this from you as well. So it is incumbent upon you to get to the polls to vote yes. And let's hope that this will have some impact on alleviating some kind of relief for the traffic here in Henry County. So I think we all are aware. I hear this every day from friends, relatives, truckers. They know that Henry County, be prepared. And when you're out there on 75 and you see the big old trucks, so we still have work to do, but I think this plan is going to help quite a bit. So I just encourage all of us to get to the poll and to vote yes for the T-Splosh.
And trust and believe, I could talk about this subject all day because it is so important. And I call it the most important election in the history of Henry County. Failure is just simply not an option because widening Rock Quarry Road is desperately needed. We need sidewalks and infrastructure in this community. Voting yes is imperative for the future of the city of Stockbridge. Failure is simply not an option because the idea of being stuck in traffic with 100,000 more people in Henry County in 10 years is unconscionable. And to understand this, I don't want to have to scare you. I want to talk you into voting for it, voting yes, because you want to see an Atlanta Beltline-like trail system in Stockbridge where we connect to the trails out at Lake Spivey on one end. And then on the other end, we connect to the Panola Mountain Trails up in Panola, where you can literally take a bike and ride from the Stockbridge Amphitheater up to Village Park in Ellenwood over to Panola Mountain. And the grand plan is to be able to take and ride a bike all the way to the Atlanta Beltline. That's right. This trail will be connected to the Atlanta Beltline because there's already 33-mile trail existence out to Conyers and Stonecrest in that area. We're trying to take advantage of that so we can have these tourists come in and literally walk in the footsteps of Daddy King in Stockbridge. And that would be such an honor for us both. Councilman Thomas talked about the Cultural Arts Center earlier in his presentation, in his work, in his thoughts, because he has led that charge for the Cultural Arts Center because he understands the value of that particular project and understand that that is the next project up. Could you talk about that briefly, Councilman Thomas, before we check out?
Yeah, I will sort of make it brief. I know it's about 10, and I know we sort of held everyone quite a while, but I do just want to say that the city of Stockbridge plan for this endeavor is one of the main ingredients and supporters of a vibrant downtown. The cultural arts is that type of facility that will bring people together from all walks of life. And we sort of hinted and talked about it before that the cultural arts facility, which is named for Carrie Mae Hamburg, who was the owner and operator of the Greenfront Cafe for over 60 years, African-American. And in naming this facility, it is the first and only municipal building named for an African-American in the city of Stockbridge and Henry County as well. But I think when you look at the plan for the amphitheater and the cultural arts, as I call the Twin Towers, these two key anchors will be those entities that will bring citizens and visitors into our downtown area. And just let me mention briefly about the museum. And I had made some notes here because I thought this was important. that in that museum, when we talk about the early life of M.L. King Sr., folks get a better understanding on the beginning of the city of Stockbridge. Even the Civil War, it touched on the city of Stockbridge, and many folk don't know the life and legacy of J.W. Clark. So this museum will provide citizens with a lot of information, with a lot of history, and the whole aspect of tourism here in the city of Stockbridge. I know we do have a presentation, ladies and gentlemen, for you for your review, but Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to yield. It is about 10 o'clock, and I really don't want to hold even your panelists and even the citizens for the duration of this presentation. And I think we have to sort of maybe come back and share this, but I'm excited about the Carrie Hambrick Cultural Arts and Enrichment Center. I do want to thank those council members that was on the council at that time for naming this facility after Carrie Hambrick, who was a great, great servant of the community. And she used her restaurant as a platform for community service. In 1949, Chief Tremor, excuse me, in 1949, this was the first public eatery in the city of Stockbridge, 1949. I'm not sure what year you was born, but I'll just say this, 1949 was a great year. So yeah, so if you can count on your fingers and toes and see how long ago that was, but this was a fantastic lady. And let me just tell our viewing audience that the building still stands. Miss Diane Miller, who has purchased the building, and she is renovating it right now to bring life back to that. But I am excited about the cultural art facility. I know we have a slide, but I'm just going to briefly just talk about the theater, the museum, the art gallery, and there's a picture of it there. I mean, this facility is just phenomenal.
Beautiful.
And the impact that it is going to have on the city of Stockbridge, because and the impact that it's going to have even on our youth. There is a study from the National Institute of Child Development and Human Development that documents the impact of art and culture on students and how their behavior, their grades and everything is improved of students that are involved in the arts and in the culture. So it has a far-reaching impact on all of us here in the city of Stockbridge. So I think we have to sort of, get a little deep into this, Mayor Pro Tem. I don't think we really have time to talk about it now, but we know, everyone on this council pretty much already know, and we talked about this before, and just recently at our budget retreat, we got a glimpse on what the interior is going to look like. And I tell you, citizens, this is a facility that you will really, really love. And I think the programming that's going to come out of this facility, it is going to be fantastic. And this is something that I know school-age kids, all of the schools, the nonprofits, fraternities, sororities, and churches, they're going to love being able to collaborate with the city of Stockbridge with all of the programming that's going to come out of this facility. And I think that is the impact right there, how we collaborate with all of these various entities in the city of Stockbridge.
Absolutely. Thank you, Councilman Thomas. Councilman Thomas, if you gave a presentation at the last town hall on this outstanding project as well. So we will certainly circle back and get more in depth and probably just have a town hall where we have a special section just for this particular project as we move forward and we get more designs on the inside of the project. The one other thing that I wanted to speak to, there was a question about a CID. And there's go ahead and flip through those. That's fine. But there was another question about whether there was a CID. Yes, there's active meetings going on to develop a CID under Highway 138 to maintain that area. We'll be following up with more information on that as we move forward. But circle through those real quick. That's a side image of the Cultural Arts Center. It's absolutely stunning facility that the city, as again, you see the quality of what we're doing here. Nothing will be beneath the standard or the benchmark of the amphitheater. And somebody had asked the other day, stop right there, about the size of the seating. Merle Manders holds about 320, 325. This theater, one of the options here, 321 theater seats in here. And then I think the ballroom was maybe about 400 as well. Keep going. Okay, let's circle back to the ballroom one more time.
Yeah, about 320.
320, so it's really the same, about the same size as Merle Prana. We had earlier talked about a 400, but this rendering here is 320, so it really will be about the same size as Merle Manders. I want to thank
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could just sort of mention downtown parking. This facility, we have 244 parking spaces going to be adjacent to this facility. So I know that's been an issue here in the city of Stockbridge in downtown about downtown parking. So once this is up and running, those parking spaces will be available too for downtown activities. And you sort of mentioned that the theater, the ballroom, the museum, the art gallery, oh, this is just going to be phenomenal. What we are going to be able to share and provide, and we're talking about a quality of life. So these are the things that we will be able to provide all of our citizens, youth, adults, the old, the young. It's just going to be phenomenal.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we could literally take 3 to 4 hours just talking about this, because trust me, we love it. Everybody on this panel, from the mayor on down, we are passionate about what we do, and excellence is the goal of everything that we look forward to. And thank you all tonight for participating in the panel, and everybody that tuned in. If you have additional questions, the email for our executive assistant is there. We'll continue with answering questions offline. But thank you so much for tuning in, and the future is so bright in Stockbridge. You saw the highlights tonight. The best is yet to come. Good night.